Hi, everyone. I'm excited about this part of the unit, and I hope you end up enjoying it too. We are about to start studying the author Nathaniel Hawthorne, and your textbook has 4 short stories of his. So we're going to um, kind of address all 4 of those stories without each of you reading all 4. So let's take a look at what we're going to do in the Hawthorne project. First, I've made this presentation for you, and it's going to be available to you at all times. So if you know that you want to get to a certain section of this Google Slides, you can use the links here and go directly to that section instead of clicking all the way through every time. What are you going to do for this unit? It's going to be a little bit different. So, of course, usually you read and try to analyze stories in your literature book for their literary value and themes and those kinds of things. So you'll still be doing that, but you are going to have help with a classmate. You'll discuss the story, and then also together you'll create a whiteboard video that highlights your story. So you can check this out more later. I'm going to show you really quickly how this works. This is an example where if you hover over one of these tags right here, you're going to see short student videos all over this. It's the short student videos that I want you to pay attention to here. This is what I think of when I say make a whiteboard video. So that's kind of giving you an example of what the whiteboard video could be. Of course, you can put your own twist on it. So for the final project that's due a week from today, next Monday, you're going to submit the video and also a skills survey and a to-do list. And then after we're finished with everything and with a movie day, when you get to watch everyone's movies, then we will do a final reflection as well. So what are the goals that we have while you're doing this? First, a little bit different from normal. Instead of the teacher being directly in control of your learning, I want you to be guiding your own learning through organizing and planning. Then often you go home, you read a literature story, you might understand just a little of it, you come back to class, the teacher tells you everything, and then you go your way and try to remember it. But this time it's going to be flipped a little bit, and I want you to be exploring literature independently and also seeing how technology can be used for you to do that without a teacher directly involved the whole time. That way you are ready for college. And then you will explain a Hawthorne short story, including the elements of literature that Hawthorne likes to use highly. So symbol and ambiguity are up there, and we'll talk about ambiguity in just a little bit. You also, in this project, you're going to get a chance to make videos. So you'll be using technology and specifically trying to use it on purpose for clear and engaging or interesting attention-getting communication. Along the way, I'll have you do things that help you think about how you as an individual learn, because that's an important understanding for you to develop, especially as you branch off to college and beyond, to just know how you access information or get things down. And then I do want you to enjoy this. So tonight, you want to pick a partner. You could also do this toward the beginning of class tomorrow, but I do kind of advise that you fish around tonight and contact people and see who you might want to work with. Now, don't just pick anyone. Be strategic, because what you're trying to do is, by having a classmate, know more, explore more, but then also work faster toward your end goal, because you don't have a ton of time to complete the project, and it's a decent sized project. So what I'm going to have you do tonight is you should fill out this skills survey. It just asks you questions about yourself and what you bring to the table. And then also, when you identify who you're going to work with, it has you fill out the same sorts of questions about that person to prove that you put thought into why you and that other person should work together and how that's going to be a better arrangement than you're working alone. You'll have quite a few tools to use. Let me show you this one first. Your 4 stories are in your book. You need to read only one of them. So you're going to choose which of the 4 stories you want to read for this project. In addition to your stories being in the book, they're all online. So every blue link here is the story that it's inside the box of. Each of the stories, Maypole, Birthmark, Ministers, Black Veil, and Celestial, they all have these links for you. The audio are dramatized versions, so you could listen to your entire story while you're doing something else, and it might be even a little more understandable than what is typical, because somebody has dramatized the story, so it's a little more accessible. All of these links are helps for you. The ones down the middle are things that relate to everyone. And then if it's inside your story box, it's related to that particular story. So I encourage you to kind of click around and then try to figure out which story you're going to do before you come to class tomorrow. And then here is where I'll house this presentation so that you can always come back to the basics of everything and get what you need. This is a color code for ThingLink so you can remember again in the future. And then I give you quite a few details. Don't be overwhelmed by them. Details are intended for you to just use them as a checklist so you feel like you know what to do. So here's your instruction for the video. I'm not going to go in depth on that right now because for one, you can read through with your classmate and discuss and ask me questions in class about it. But I will show you the explanation is right here. You do want to make sure that you fulfill all those details that I've put there. I've given you a help right here. You do not have to use the script, but I don't want you sitting around for a long time trying to just come up with a way to start your video. So this, you could start plugging in the phrases and then get creative from then on. And then I told you how I'm going to grade it so that you can aim for a good grade with knowledge. The skill survey we already talked about. You do need to complete that before turning in your final video. And then this is what I was talking about, you guiding your learning or planning a little bit. Again, this is going to look a little overwhelming, but what I've tried to do for you is kind of put out there almost all the details that you would need to work on to get your project in on time so that you are kind of, your brain is prompted to think of what is involved in that. But this part you do need to turn in to me. So I recommend filling this out every day, and I'll stop you in class and give you time to do that toward the end of class every day. You and your classmate who are working together, you're going to plan each day what you need to get done in order to stay on track, and then what you need to get done at home in order to stay on track. And after the whole thing is done and we watch each other's videos and enjoy a movie day, then you will fill out a final reflection to just show how you've grown and how you're aware of your learning. So this is not required right here, but it does help you get started on thoughts. So you should kind of read this through and maybe even just jot notes down as you're going through your learning that relate to those reflection questions, so that you're ready for that final reflection. Couple tips about your tools. Use your skim reading skills, especially on those yellow and green resources. They're not there for you to read all the way through. You do need to read your story all the way through. You do sign an honesty statement that you read or listened to your story all the way through. But the research pieces in there, they're just answer guides. So skim them, look through the headings, use those wisely. And then use your electronic capabilities. So for example, if you're trying to find a spot in the story again because you need to pull out a quotation or you remember a symbol was there, but you can't find it in your book, use Control F on your electronic version of the story, and then you can easily search by keyword to find. Also, while you're reading, if you're reading online, just use Control C to copy words and then paste them back into a dictionary website, and you can easily find definitions if the words are getting difficult for you. And then use rubrics as your answer sheet instead of finding them overwhelming. Finally, I'm going to be in class with you. So I will definitely be available to assist you and to provide extra tools if you need even more and to give advice. And, you know, if you want to run ideas by me, definitely there for that. I will say though, please first check your resources and talk to your classmate who you're working with, and then try to find some other resources on your own and then ask the teacher, because you remember part of the entire goal of this is not just the literature itself, but the way you're developing as a learner. So I'm here for you, but you also need to do some searching on your own first. All right, I'll prepare a second video for you on particularly the literature and have that in the slide for you as well, but that gets you started on knowing what the project is about.